Most American homeowners are paying somewhere between $150 and $250 a month just to stay cool in the summer. And almost none of them know that 4 feet below their own backyard, right now, there is a free, permanent, 55-degree heat sink that has been sitting there since before their house was built. It costs less than $100 to tap into it. It uses the electricity equivalent of a single light bulb, and it does not have a compressor, a refrigerant line, a service contract, or a monthly bill. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to build one yourself this weekend. The U.S. Energy Information Administration projects the average American household will spend around $178 a month on electricity this summer. Air conditioning alone accounts for nearly half of that. That is over 4 months of bills totaling more than $700 every single summer for the same house, the same yard, the same physics. Here at Creative Own Explainer, we track the energy solutions that work, including the ones that have been working quietly for nearly 100 years, without any marketing budget behind them. This technology was documented by the Department of Energy in 1985. Oklahoma State University has published 30 years of research confirming it, and the HVAC industry has a very strong financial reason to make sure you never hear about it. Let's change that. Here is the single most important piece of information in this entire video. Dig 4 to 6 feet into your yard, almost anywhere in the continental United States, and the soil temperature holds steady between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Not in the spring, not just after a rainstorm. Every single day of the year. In August, when the air above is 98, the dirt 4 feet down is 55. In January, when the air is 14 and your furnace is running non-stop, the dirt 4 feet down is still 55. The U.S. Geological Survey has been measuring subsurface soil temperatures since at least 1910. Their records show that groundwater at 25 feet in the mid-Atlantic region varied by less than 3 degrees across an entire calendar year of continuous monitoring. At 6 feet of depth, you are already inside a thermal envelope that barely moves with the seasons. This is the same reason caves stay cool in August. It is the same reason root cellars kept food cold for generations before refrigeration existed. It is the same reason your basement floor always feels cold on a hot day even when the upstairs is sweltering. The Earth is a massive thermal battery. It is fully charged, and it is buried directly beneath your lawn right now. A ground source cooling loop does one thing. It sends water down into that cold zone, lets the water absorb the Earth's constant coolness, and brings it back up to circulate through a simple fan and radiator unit inside your house. The fan blows across the cold radiator. Cold air enters your room. That is the entire technology. No phase change refrigerant, no high voltage compressor motor, no chemical cycle, no certified technician, no annual service agreement. Water goes down, cold water comes back. Fan blows, room cools. And here is the number that makes all the difference between how your air conditioner works and how this works. Water carries approximately 3,500 times more thermal energy per unit of volume than air does. That is not an estimate. That is the measured volumetric heat capacity ratio, confirmed in any undergraduate thermodynamics textbook and published by Penn State's Earth Sciences Department in their open access course materials. What that means in practice, a single 1-inch pipe full of water absorbs more cold from the ground in one pass than a 12-inch air duct could pull in 20 passes. This is why engineers who try to cool homes by running air through buried pipes need 100 to 200 feet of 6-inch corrugated drainage pipe. A water loop does the same job with 150 to 200 feet of 3/4-inch PEX tubing, coiled into a trench you can dig in a single afternoon. Smaller trench, smaller pipe. More cooling per foot, and far less labor than you'd expect. Now, before we get into the build, let me show you who is already living with this. Because the most powerful proof of any technology is the people who have been quietly running it for years without anyone asking them to. Drive through the hill country south of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and you will find families who have been running variations of this system for decades. One family outside of Berryville runs 200 feet of PEX tubing in a coil buried 5 feet deep beneath their pasture. The water circulates through a salvaged truck heater core mounted in a plywood box, powered by a 12-volt fan running off a single small solar panel. No grid connection, no utility bill, no moving parts except the pump and the fan. On the afternoon I researched this, the outside temperature in Carroll County, Arkansas was 94 degrees Fahrenheit. The air coming off their indoor unit was 62. They have run this every summer since 2017, without replacing a single component. The only maintenance they have ever done is flushing the loop once a year with a garden hose. These are not engineers. They are not wealthy. They are people who got tired of paying $250 a month to their utility company and decided to try something the internet said could not work. It works. It has always worked. In Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, the Amish have used buried pipe water loops to cool their dairies and summer kitchens for generations, long before the word geothermal entered the residential vocabulary. They do not call it a ground source cooling loop. They call it cold water from the ground, and they have never once called an HVAC technician. During the July 2024 heat dome, when grid operators across the mid-Atlantic asked millions of households to voluntarily cut their air conditioning, the families running passive ground loops did not get the memo. Their cooling had no relationship to the grid at all. And this next part, the dollar math, is the part that is going to make you genuinely angry at how long you have been paying for something you did not have to. Here is the comparison that the HVAC industry does not want on a single billboard in America. A standard central air conditioner draws 3,500 watts, running 8 hours a day over a 4-month summer at the national average electricity rate of 17 cents per kilowatt hour, costs $571. A passive ground loop system runs a small circulation pump that draws about 20 watts, running 24 hours a day over those same 4 months, at the same electricity rate, costs $7.34. $7 for 4 months of cooling. That is not a typo. That is the ratio of a device designed to fight the heat with a powerful machine versus a pipe that asks the earth to do the work instead. A 2014 study published in the journal Geothermal measured a residential ground source system over a full annual cycle and recorded a cooling efficiency ratio of 8.0, meaning the system delivered 8 units of cooling for every 1 unit of electricity consumed. Your central air conditioner operates at a ratio of roughly 3.0 to 3.5. The ground source system was more than twice as efficient. In the passive version you are going to build, there is no heat pump at all. The comparison is not even close. Run the full annual math. The average American household spends around $2,040 per year on electricity. Heating and cooling account for roughly half of that. If a passive ground loop reduces your cooling cost by 80%, and takes 30% off your winter heating load, you are looking at $500 to $700 back in your pocket every single year. The system costs you $90 to $150 to build. The payback is measured in months, not years. And here is the part that completes the picture. The same loop that cools your house in July heats it in January. Think about what 55 degrees means in January. Your house is set to 68 inside. The outdoor air is 20 degrees. Your furnace is fighting a 48-degree temperature difference every time it runs. But the ground 4 feet down is still 55 degrees, the same as it was in August. Circulate that 55-degree water through the same indoor radiator unit with the same fan, and you are pushing 55-degree air into your home instead of 20-degree air. Your furnace now only has to bridge a 13-degree gap instead of 48 degrees. It runs less. It burns less fuel. Your heating bill drops from the same pipe that is already buried in your yard. You have not just built a summer cooling system, you have built a year-round thermal stabilizer using a single coil of plastic pipe that will outlast your house. The Plastics Pipe Institute confirms that buried PEX tubing has a lifespan exceeding 50 years. Some of the earliest polyethylene ground loops installed in the 1970s are still in service today, 5 decades later, with zero maintenance and no measurable performance loss. You will replace your central air conditioning unit 2 or 3 times before that buried loop shows any sign of wear. Now, let me give you the exact build. No vague instructions, no course to buy. Every dimension, every material, every step, right here. Here is everything you need. All of it is available at Home Depot, Lowe's, or any local hardware store. The core of the system is 3/4-inch PEX tubing. That is cross-linked polyethylene pipe, the same pipe used in radiant floor heating systems across America. A 300-foot coil costs between $55 and $80. You will use roughly 2/3 of that coil for your underground loop. The circulation pump is a small 12-volt DC water pump rated for at least 130 gallons per hour. You can find one for $12 to $18 at any aquatic supplier or hardware store. The indoor heat exchanger is simpler than it sounds. You need a car heater core or a small aluminum radiator. A new universal heater core costs $15 to $25 at any auto parts store. A salvaged one from a junkyard costs nothing. Mount it inside a simple plywood or plastic box, open on 2 sides, and aim a fan through it. A $12 box fan works fine. A 12-volt computer fan works. A salvaged automotive cooling fan works. Whatever you have, PEX fittings, 2 brass barb connectors, 2 hose clamps, and a roll of Teflon tape bring your hardware total to under $10. Total system cost using all new components, $90 to $150. Total system cost using salvaged parts, under $60. The professional geothermal heat pump installation, performing the exact same physics with a thermostat and a brand name on the box, $15,000 to $25,000. Those are real 2025 quotes from certified IGSHPA installers. The markup is 100 to 1, and the thing they are marking up is a coil of plastic pipe in a ditch. Here is how you put it together over a single weekend. Friday evening. Mark your trench. Pick a straight run or a gentle curve in your yard, at least 40 feet long, and ideally 60 feet. You will lay the pecs back and forth in a serpentine pattern inside this trench. A 60-foot trench gives you room for 180 to 200 feet of pipe with 12-inch spacing between each pass. Mark it with spray paint or string. Saturday morning, dig the trench. You need it 24 inches wide and at least 48 inches deep, ideally 60 inches. In loose soil, one person with a trenching shovel can dig 40 feet in 4 to 5 hours. In clay or rocky ground, rent a walk-behind trencher from any equipment rental shop for $150 to $200 for a half day. It is worth every penny. Lay the pecs in a serpentine pattern at the bottom, keeping each pass roughly 12 inches from the last. Secure it with landscaping staples or zip ties to rebar stakes so it does not shift when you backfill. Connect both ends of the loop to vertical risers that come up to the surface above the trench. Backfill the trench. Pack it firm. Saturday afternoon, build the indoor unit. Mount the heater core inside your wooden or plastic box. Attach the fan to one open side so it blows air directly through the core fins. Run flexible tubing from the loop risers outside to the heater core inlet and outlet inside your house. Install the circulation pump on the supply line and wire it to a 12-volt power supply or a small solar panel. Fill the system with water using a garden hose. Bleed the air by running the pump with the return line open until water flows steady with no bubbles. Close the loop. Sunday morning, test it. Turn on the pump. Wait 15 to 20 minutes for the water to complete its first full circuit through the buried coil. Hold your hand in front of the fan. The air coming through should be between 60 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit. If you want the full experience, hold a stick of incense in front of the unit and watch the smoke flatten sideways and stream horizontally across the room. That is cold, dense air displacing the warm air above it. That is the earth doing the work that a 3,500-watt machine has been charging you $500 a summer to do. Let me address the 3 failure modes now, because the failures are real. They are just all avoidable. The first problem is condensation. When you push 55-degree water through a radiator in a room with 75-degree air and 60% humidity, you get condensation on the cold surface, the same way a glass of iced tea sweats on a summer porch. The fix is a drip tray beneath the heater core and a gravity drain routed to a bucket or a floor drain. Every window air conditioner in America deals with this same problem the same way. It is a solved issue, not a design flaw. Do not skip the drip tray. The second problem is loop length. A 50-foot loop is not enough. A 2019 simulation study published in the journal Energy and Buildings modeled passive ground loop systems across multiple U.S. climate zones and found that loops shorter than 120 feet consistently failed to maintain a useful temperature drop after 3 continuous hours of operation. The systems that held a 10-degree drop or better through an entire afternoon used 180 feet or more. Go long. The tubing is cheap. The trench is the same depth either way. The third problem is overloading the ground. If you run the loop continuously for the entire summer without any break, the soil surrounding the pipe gradually warms and your efficiency drops. The solution is simple. Run the loop during the day when you need cooling and let the earth recover its baseline temperature overnight. A 12 hours on, 12 hours off cycle is enough to maintain stable ground temperatures all summer in any soil type. Every failed DIY ground loop comes down to one of these 3 issues. None of them are physics failures. They are installation failures. And now you know how to avoid all 3. Think about where you are right now compared to where you were 15 minutes ago. You now know that 4 to 6 feet below your yard, in almost every corner of the United States, there is a free, year-round, 55-degree heat sink that costs nothing to maintain and never fluctuates with the weather. You know the exact materials list. 3/4-inch PEX tubing, a 12-volt pump, a heater core, a fan, and a weekend of work. You know the 3 failure modes and exactly how to prevent each one. You know that the same loop cools your home in July and reduces your furnace load in January from a single buried system with no moving parts except a $20 pump that draws 20 watts of electricity. At current national average electricity rates, a passive ground loop could return $500 to $700 a year to your pocket. The system pays for itself in the first summer. The buried pipe outlasts your house. You now know more about residential ground source cooling than most HVAC contractors will ever tell you. And you built that knowledge right here. That is worth acting on. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now and tell me, what does your average summer electric bill look like? Are you in the South, where humidity is the main challenge? Or the Midwest, where the ground gets even colder? I read every single comment. If this video gave you something useful, I have already made a full video on the 5 most overlooked ways to cut your home energy bill before your next billing cycle. It is lined up right after this one. And if you want to make sure you never miss a video like this one, subscribe to Creative Own Explainer. We cover the energy systems that work, including the ones nobody with a marketing budget will ever tell you about. I will see you in the next one.